So I continue in my constant endeavour to get my bin man who has to pick up my recycling to have one of the hardest jobs in the world, as there is more cardboard in the house and more boxes to be unboxed. This week I'm looking at a September to Remember box from Toysiverse, and as anyone who's been watching this show knows, that's what I think is in this box. So who knows when I open it whether it might actually be something else, because often the boxes kind of go into the spare room with the view to open, do the recording like it is, and I get out of order sometimes. But yeah, I believe it's a September to Remember. Now, this will probably drop quite a bit into either November. So again, I think now you're starting to see that the episodes will get recorded in advance when the boxes actually get here, but they may be out of time a little bit. Now, strangely enough, that can potentially impact the value. So when I do the unboxings and when I do the views with them on the spinning table, I'll always kind of reflect TPD value. And TPD value is on the day. So on the day that I record it, that's the value that I will put down for it. However, those values can fluctuate. They can go up, they can go down, they can stay static. But if you ever kind of see it and go, oh, that valuation's off, it will be the day I record rather than actually the day that I am showing the video. But that aside, we will have a mystery box. I'll go in a second about what this mystery box may or may not contain. But first things first, we've got a pickup of the week. Now, this is a pop that I'm surprised I haven't picked up before. And it's from a line that I'm surprised I haven't picked up before. But joining me in my house from the Monsterverse is Godzilla. Now, I know we've got a little bit of glare off the camera there, and it's quite hard because of the colouring of him, but I'm hoping when we get him out of the box and do the filming that you'll be able to see a little bit more of the impact of the King of the Monsters. So let's unbox him now.
Now, a better cameraman would probably do better justice for this on the Godzilla pop, but our skill sets are our skill sets. But it's worth pointing out that he is a weighty beast. I can't remember, I think it was possibly 2 videos ago where I talked about All Might being the heaviest and the best pound for pound pop, but Godzilla's giving him a run for the money. Now, this is from the Kong versus Godzilla. Or was it Godzilla versus Kong? One of the two. Not a movie I like, but a character I absolutely love, and he will go somewhere with a bit of pride of place on the shelf behind me.
So, on to the mystery box. As I said, this is probably from Toysiverse, which was one of the first, if not the first, mystery boxes I think I ever got. Now, they seem to have been a bit more sporadic around releasing them. I think they kind of stock up, and then when they've got a decent run of relatively well-priced pops, that's when they run their mystery boxes. I do have another one on the way, a Star Wars one, which will have hopefully a nice little special unboxing coming up with me and Jimmy the Saint from my podcast. But this one, so what is this mystery box? So this had a guaranteed value of £25, and if you look, it was £24.99 for the actual mystery boxes, and I do like to buy 2 when I get these, just to double the chances of getting a top hit. Now, as you can see pictured, there's sort of varying levels of top hits here, and I would say that a lot of the top hits aren't maybe what we sometimes see in the pop figures ones that I do. You know, often you'll be looking at quite a few pops that are particularly rare, that are, let's say, in the £100 range, whereas in this one, a lot of them are relatively recent. You know, you've got a few chases there. You've got the Bo-Katan chase from The Mandalorian. You've got the die-cast Captain America. You've got the Stitch with a record player. Now, oh, and also like the Blacklight Carnage. Now, their values are actually quite high, especially with the Blacklight Carnage, and the die-cast Captain America is going big at the moment, although by the time this video comes, the price might have readdressed to the mean a little bit. But sometimes, again, that's what mystery box runs will put in it. They'll put in units that probably haven't cost the company a fortune, but that are flying through the roof. So when you're considering whether it's a box that you want to buy or not, I think always factor that in of are there figures I really want? And if you're doing this for sort of trade or profit, if they are very recently high priced, then leaving the box in a room for a month can impact that, and also the desire can drop off quite quickly. But looking at some of the other hits that are there, I mean, you have a Cruella de Vil, which is a relatively old pop and not a line I'm collecting, but there's something about getting some of those older pops. I quite like the Peter Parker Unmasked, and you've got the Stonekeeper there, which would start to sit in with my Marvel collection. More from the movies, obviously, than the comic books, but again, Funko Shop exclusive and relatively rare, so happy with it either way. But this is all a lot of talking and not a lot of unboxing, so let's get the box. And somewhere around here is Mr. Blunty, as he will be called, the blunt knife. So let's get in the box. Worth saying, whenever I've had a Toysiverse, and as I've said on the show repeatedly, and hopefully we can turn this around, I've never had a top hit, but I've always been quite impressed with the packaging, etc., etc. from Toysiverse. They seem to care. You watch it be bad now. I said the cost of it and the guaranteed value. It's also, you will get 1 or 2 pops per mystery box, and as I say, there's 2 mystery boxes in here, so we're either going to see 2 all the way up to 4 pops. So let's get rid of some of the packaging. So, lovely. They've labelled it for me. So this one is B Part 1. And I'm presuming this is going to be B Part 2, but let's have a look. A Part 2. Sweeties, giant straws. And Sweeties, what we've got here? Plastics. Theirs is an inclusion of Haribo. I know you've probably seen, like, when I've been doing these unboxings, that most of them have sweets in them and stickers, but Toysiverse are a big fan of Haribo. Right, put my name leads. A Part 1. So I found this in the last video, and I meant to say about it in my last video, but it worked out perfectly because just by luck, the way I unboxed them, they kind of built to the most valuable one, and I don't think I'm always going to be able to reproduce that, but let's go for A Part 1. So and as I say, well packaged, but one of the things I like is their masking tape cuts, even with Blunty McBluntington, the knife. They cut quite easily, so it looks like we are bubble wrapped, so I can't see, but let's get it up to the camera. Let's take off the bubble wrap. So we have a Disney princess, and who doesn't want a glittery Disney princess in their life? So this is Princess Tiana and Naveen. I presume this is Princess and the Frog, but not one that I would ever have bought myself. But let's get it out of the box, see how it glitters, and see the value.
And I was right, and probably a good guess on Princess and the Frog, although you can debate whether it's a good guess when there's a frog in the box. As mentioned, not something that I was really looking to get into my collection. I've never seen the movie, got no affinity with it, but I am partial to the little figs that sometimes you get in the boxes with them, so I'm quite glad to get the frog separately. Now, I don't know whether glitter is really coming across on the camera, but I would say that parts of the princess's dress is glittery, but more so a very, very glittery frog.
So let's see what the second box brings us. So A Part 2, and I guess and again this is just a guess, but because I've got 4, I wonder again whether that means I'm not in the world of top hits. I wonder whether if you hit one of the top hits you only get a singular one, although we have seen in other boxings that sometimes that's not the case and you just get quite a low value one as your second pot. But What am I guessing? You're going to see in a couple of seconds. Get the last little cut done. Oops, forgot to cut that bit. Didn't cut myself. So here we have, and let's remove. Ah, so this is from the Flash TV show. So this is Godspeed and Glow in the Dark. I'm all about the gimmicks today. Now, we won't see the glow in the dark, but we'll have a little look at Godspeed outside of the box.
So as I say, this is Godspeed from the Flash TV show. Now, I'm pretty sure, in part of me reading Flash comics along the years, that there was an equivalent character, but I've got to be honest, I don't really remember the storyline too much, and I think I tapped out on the Flash TV show by the time he actually appeared. Now, I am noticing that he's got a very bright head, and that's probably impacting off the light in here. What a shiny little fella. And as I said, he is a glow in the dark, and I don't think my production values are anywhere near being able to do glow in the dark videos yet. Maybe a little lesson for me going forward that I should. However, you don't come here for good production skills. Now, I'm guessing the glow in the dark stuff is the blue, let's say, Speed Force that's running around him. So if I ever do the glow in the dark episode that I lie to myself and say I'm going to do, maybe Godspeed will appear.
So for box one, we come in over TPD value, which is good. You know, we cover this when we've done these before. I'm trying to build a collection, but part of the mystery box thing is to do videos like this and the fun of it, but potentially somebody's going into a trade. So it is nice to know that you haven't dunked a load of money. But let's see whether box two brings the same result. So I'm going to go with in order. So we're going to go box B, part one. Feel particularly proficient at cutting, and other times I feel like this is the first time I've ever used a knife. And for anyone who would ever put in the comments, you're cutting them off and doing some editing so you can make them look like better pulls. You've seen I'm not getting any top hit, so it seems unlikely to me. Right, so here we go. Box B, part one. Oh, this one is much more bubble wrapped than the last one, so it's Ironheart from Marvel, soon to be featured in at least one of the TV shows or the movies, I think. But anyway, let's see Ironheart out of the box.
So as I said, Ironheart will be a character that will soon be featuring in a Disney Plus show, I believe. But from the comic books, the person under the mask is a lass called Riri Williams, and this is probably in an effort to make the Marvel universe, or certainly the Marvel Comics universe, a little bit more appealing to a younger audience, and of course in this case with Riri, a female audience. Now, I quite like the pop out of the box. I think it looks quite good. I very much like the fact that the kind of glow element of it seems to be coming from the fuel, or the jet fuel, should I say, out of the feet. But yeah, quite a cool little pop. Special edition. Valuation very low, £7 currently. I think we may see that fluctuate once the character gets a bit of a foothold in the TV universe, and certainly I'd like to think that will pop up a few pound or two. But either way, I think it will sit very snugly in my Marvel characters collection.
So as you can see there, Ironheart coming in quite low on the valuation front. Now, surprisingly enough, that might mean positive things for part two. Also might not, but because we are only looking at a £25 value, so could easily be one that comes in around sort of £17-18 point. But let's hope. And as I say, when this was boxed is when the TPD value is. So things do change even between boxing and opening. But let's see what part two brings. Also, I just want to quickly pick up on the Ironheart one. I think it's quite a cool pop and a cool character that I think might actually get some traction when starting to be used in the movie. So I do think, and I'm not talking about astronomically, but I do think it's one of those ones where the value will rise. So struggling with the box. Let's get it all out. So we're back in the world of Marvel, and we have the Venomized Thor, part of the Mass Venomized line, where they take a load of the Marvel characters and almost go, what if the Venom symbiote got inside them? But I think this one's going to be quite cool to see outside the box, because he seems quite jammed into this. So let's have a look at him outside the box, and let's have a look at valuation.
Mentioned it once already in this video, but this boy's a weighty little bugger as well. You might even give Godzilla a bit of a run for his money. However, as I'm sure you can see, all of that weight is being contained in the head. I mean, I say his head, possibly quite a bit in that tongue of his as well. So this is the Venomized Thor, and as I say, it's from the line of Venomized Pops, where Marvel heroes and Marvel villains in some cases have been given that kind of Venom touch and that Venom spin. Now, looking at the valuation for him, he is actually coming in at £16, so not going to bring us up to full value for the box, but he is quite a cool pop. Now, I'd said to myself I wasn't going to get any of the Venomized Pops, or certainly not going to collect them, but I think if you are into Venom, this is one of the better ones that I've seen. He really was rammed into the box. That protector that's inside really was having to contain a lot. So, but yeah, again, you're getting the kind of Thor lightning crackle coming around Mjolnir, and I don't know, like underneath, probably jumping up out of it. But yeah, cracking little pop.
So yeah, with current valuation, that brings that in at under the guaranteed value, but it's only £2 under. And as I say, I think you have to be fair with these companies. They are probably on the day of boxing. You could easily sort of see that Venomized Thor might have been like £1 more, £2 more. Same with Ironheart. I think I mentioned it earlier, but they're all with the special edition stickers, which also might impact the price. But this is the thing with mystery boxes. You're hoping that you get something that's good for your collection. You're hoping you get the top hits, but there are only so many boxes that the top hits can be in. And I think we've seen over the 13 episodes, quite often you hear me say, "Yeah, excellent, that's going to go in my collection." Not a top hit, but it's something that either on first look at it on the video, I've gone, "That's very good." I think today, I think Ironheart is one that I will probably keep in my collection. I have a number of Marvel ones, and it kind of fits into the Marvel one that I quite like. As I say, much more based off the comic books than the TV or the movie at the moment. As for the Godspeed from Flash, the Princess Tiana, and the Venomized Thor, not ones that I'm particularly interested in. So I think I probably will put them up on some of the Facebook groups for trade, and see if I can flip them into something that I actually do want for the collection. So you could say a bit of a failure for the mystery box, but no failure at the part of the company. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you don't get stuff that you want or need out of it, and there'll be further videos. So I'm kind of hoping that that luck turns around, and that continued hunt for the top hit does pay off at some point. But maybe in episode 15, 16, 17, that I will start to pull more back into. Yeah, that will go in my collection. But we like to close these videos with Pop of the Day, and bearing in mind what we got out of the mystery box, there's only one contender for Pop of the Day, and unfortunately I put it down on the floor, so I'm going to bend over. It is the Godzilla. And quite often I think you'll find the Pop of the Day are the ones that are my actual pickups, because I've chosen those. But it is quite nice to mix it up, and it is quite nice when a mystery box contender pushes it out of the way. Anyway, I'll be back soon with episode 15, but in the interim, please like and subscribe to the channel, and please drop a comment. Drop a comment whether you're collecting any of these lines, what your Pop of the Day was, and hopefully, like, if you're interested in the Venomized Thor, the Godspeed, or the Princess Tiana, drop me a line and maybe we can do a trade, and who knows, that could turn into a future unboxing. Give you a little shout out on Pop of the Week when I unbox what I've traded with you. So have a good week all, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and just remember, you can join the Cult of Egg
by liking and subscribing to this YouTube channel. We release regular content where we talk about all things geek, all things pop culture, and all things that we're interested in. You can also come along and join the discussion on Facebook groups and Renaissance Cast. And you can join us on our Twitch channel where Stu regularly streams games. And if you'd like to support us, then please follow the link for the Patreon. Thanks very much.